What? What?
Huh?
Why? I really want to ask why your nose is sticking out of your fly, but that's really not the question to be asked here. What are you doing?
Well, tonight we're going to talk about Wonder Woman, right?
We are talking about Wonder Woman.
And it's 1984, okay? I had two things I was trying to do as a theme tonight. One, I was trying to make my own jean jacket, and it didn't happen. Two,
Okay.
after that, I thought, well, why don't I come up with my own supervillain? So I thought, why don't I do Dr. Nose? Dr. Nose.
Dr. Nose.
I mean, that's what it looks like, right? My nose?
No. Just no. No.
So this.
I think we should start the show.
Okay.
I'll see you in a second, Dr. Nose.
Bye.
It's the Something About Something podcast with your host, Mr. Mike Schilling.
And my compadre and friend, Mr. Ricky Pope. I really should have washed those jeans before putting them on.
Hey, Terrence. Good to see you.
Hey, Terrence.
Man,
Terrence?
we had 11 people watching until they saw you with jeans on your head. I'm just saying.
Some people don't, have artistic,
Some people don't appreciate the finer things in life,
That's right.
like jeans on your head.
That was my cosplay. And yeah, we lost somebody else. That was 7, now 6, now 8. It's kind of like a dyslexic auction, basically.
It goes
we
down.
Just go down. We got down to 5.
I think
give me
so.
4,
I think
give me 4, give me 3, give me 3.
I think Terrence just left just to pick on us.
I think he did. That's okay. So,
Oh my goodness. How are you, my friend?
I am good. How was your holiday?
It was fantastic.
Awesome.
What did you think of the show last week?
Let's say that it was one of our best. No. Let's just say that
It was one of our shows.
it was one of our shows. I like how we threw voices at each other in the video. You would talk, my mouth would move, and sometimes we would do that.
It
yeah,
was so... Okay, so what happened? After Effects totally jacked up the export. So I exported it. It actually exported. Like, it was correct when I would scrub through it, but when it exported, it all jacked up. It was good at the beginning,
man.
and
Yeah.
just slowly drifted off after that. So insane. So
sounds like the show basically kind of drifts right on off. So
our show always drifts off course quite a bit.
yeah,
quite a bit.
yeah, we had
Kind of like now.
we had a pretty good holiday. We had a pretty good holiday. We, at the House of Schilling, the Casa Bonita. I don't know Bonita, but remember Casa Bonita? We just lost another person. What is going on?
Casa Bonita. Man, everybody's... Terrence is the only one watching now.
he's our only fan out there, I tell you.
Man, we love you, Terrence. We appreciate you.
Terrence, you're the man. You're the man. I don't know where Todd's at. I don't know where's the man, the Florida man, the man,
I don't know
the
where
legend.
The Florida man is. So what kind of stuff did you get for Christmas? What kind of Christmas did you have? We haven't seen each other really
you can't
since
see
Christmas.
it from here, but my wife, I'll just bring it up here, is a new microphone, RE20.
The beloved RE20.
That's right.
I love that microphone. I used to do audiobooks using that microphone.
Exactly.
Absolutely loved it.
Yeah. Well, I like it, and I had the had the Shure 7B, and I tested it with this, and this was just hands down just a better mic, at least for this mic.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mic for this
Microphones are very subjective based on how you sound on them.
Yeah.
But I will say I think I think that one is a great mic. I love that thing.
Yeah, it's a good mic.
Yeah.
It'll last me a long time.
I got a new audio interface.
Oh, nice.
So hopefully I don't buzz anymore or hum or whatever that weird thing that was happening every 80 seconds a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I think it was a combination of things with concern.
And I'm using a microphone that you loaned me.
Yes. You know? Yeah.
So this is actually the microphones that you and I started on, aren't they?
We actually started out on those audio techs.
Oh, I forgot about those.
Audio techs, and then after that, I graduated
we
to
used
this.
these for quite a while.
For the majority of the time, yes.
Yep.
Yeah, and I used it quite a bit for maybe the first half of the year for the second season. And then I got that Shure 7B that was testing out. So anyway.
Yep. I think that RE20 sounds great, though.
Hey, you got Mandalorian socks from Terrence
sweet.
Jones. That is sweet, man.
Any of you other guys watching, let us know what you got for Christmas. We'd love to know.
We need to put that on the. I like to put that up on the SAS Nerds group site.
Show us pictures of your Christmas present.
That's right, within reason.
Oh, I also got this.
Oh, look at that. Yeah, you just. Yeah, there you go.
Isn't that sweet? We have matching mugs now.
That's right. That's right.
Matching show mugs.
That's right. Among other things.
I don't know what that means.
I just let you
leave it alone.
Just fill in the blank, or don't fill in the blank. Leave it alone.
Leave that alone. Oh my goodness. So what is Manny the podcast dog up to?
Well, let's check him out.
Shall we check him out?
Yeah.
Oh, he is. He's just laying there.
Yeah, pretty much what the show is doing.
Just laying there.
Just laying there. Just
he
like
doesn't do a whole lot.
No, he doesn't. Pretty much you do it for him. He does. I mean, he's very good about letting me know when it's time to eat, and letting me know when he needs to go out and do his business, and when he wants attention. But pretty much this is him most of the time. So yeah, pretty much.
Could be. Yeah, sounds about right.
So we had some big stuff that happened this week. I mean, there's tonight we're going to be talking about Wonder Woman. It's and there's so much. I think it's whether you like the movie or not, we're going to talk about the pros and the cons, the things that we thought was okay, whatever.
Yeah.
But there is also a bigger significance with this movie. Because of the climate we're in right now. So we'll talk about that a little bit more down the road. But it's fascinating. And honestly, I think it's possible that some of our viewers are not watching us tonight because they haven't seen it yet and they don't want spoilers. Oh no, we should have done something else then. So sad. But we're going to do it anyhow.
We're going to do it anyhow at this point.
If we're going to do the show just for me, you, and Terrence.
And Terrence. Yep.
Hey.
Terrence, have you seen the movie? Terrence, let us know if you've seen the movie. I'm curious. If you're watching right now, let us know if you've seen the movie yet. Wonder Woman.
Yeah,
1984. That's what we're going to talk about tonight.
Yeah, so we're
but we got some stuff to talk about before that, right?
We do. We do have some stuff talking about before that. Are we wanting to go right into our segments, or how do you feel about some of that?
I'm good to go right into the stupid news if you're down for it.
Well, let's do that. Let's do some stupid news.
All right. It's the stupid news with your host, Mr. Mike Schilling.
Well, we had our holiday Christmas stupid news last week. I don't know how many people.
And it was awesome.
It was awesome. Maybe we. Anyway, I won't go there, but it was awesome. We may check that out. You may not check that out. But speaking of stupid news, holidays. We're I know Christmas is over, but this is still the holidays. People are still doing semi-Christmas stuff. There's there's still the light
Second
show
Christmas.
and the whole thing. Yeah, the whole thing. But one thing, this time of year is snow. Now we've been fortunate. I think we have some
Yep.
coming in later, maybe, but
Maybe tonight, tomorrow, maybe some Friday. Yep.
but in Christmas tradition, when you have snow, you got to shovel the snow, and and I hate shoveling snow, and fortunately
I hate shoveling snow.
and apparently a Kentucky man, he's gotten it figured out.
Oh yeah.
Let's just say a man from Kentucky, he wanted to clear his snow, and of all things, guess what he used to clean his snow?
Not a snow shovel.
Yeah, there you go. You're close. There you go.
Not a snow shovel. So
no, basically,
he have one of those machines you push that shoots the snow.
No, he didn't do that. No, it was something more like let's really call it a flamethrower.
A flamethrower.
Yeah, basically.
Hey, Todd VC. Welcome to the
Todd.
show.
Hey, Todd. Yes, just to kind of go back on things, this Mr.
Oh, my goodness.
Yes, Timothy Browning, he's from Kentucky, and apparently he's got his Cousin Eddie look going on there.
That is a Cousin Eddie there going on. That's perfect.
But he decided he was going to do more than just shovel. He decided, hey, I am going to use a flamethrower. I don't know who usually has a flamethrower hanging in their garage, but apparently Timothy had. So
is that one of those Elon Musk flamethrowers that he was selling for a while?
I don't know, but look at that thing.
That thing's crazy looking. It looks dangerous.
Yeah, for those on the audio podcast, if you can imagine Cousin Eddie, instead of pumping sewage, he's actually using a flamethrower to put out snow around his RV. Well, this is basically the photos we're showing of the viral video. There he goes again. He's circling the entire house. He's doing his thing up down the driveway. What's the funny thing about this is, I would be afraid I'd catch my house on fire. Basically,
I'd be afraid I'd catch. Well, never mind.
Well,
I would totally destroy something with a flamethrower.
It's funny on social media. People just had a great time with it. I mean, they even ask him, is he for hire, and pretty much it, he tongue in cheek. But I'm surprised that there was no mention in the article about local law enforcement.
Well, and apparently, I just looked this up. Apparently, there are no federal laws prohibiting people from owning flamethrowers.
Well, that's
you
a loophole.
can buy a flamethrower.
Man, don't tell Todd that.
Yep. There is a company called The Boring Company that sells a flamethrower that's all self-contained. And then there are other flamethrowers you can buy that basically attach to a propane tank. Like the one on your grill.
On your grill.
That is frightening.
There's nothing combustible about that at all.
Oh, no, that's not a disaster waiting to happen at all.
I don't know if you ever seen Private Ryan, but those guys usually are the first to go.
Yep.
Good sniper rifle to the propane tank, and you're pretty much gone. But this is also, too, there was a photograph from people up the hill. Up the hill.
That's frightening.
You can barely see the guy, but you can see the fire. So pretty much, yeah. So
it looks like it actually did a great job. I'm super impressed.
If you think about it, that really wasn't too bad. And also for the holidays too, we're talking about there's people, you still have your holiday lights and the music.
Yep.
I still have a neighbor across the street who's competing with the Griswolds. So pretty much, you still got going on. One of our little towns are still doing Christmas lights. Well, apparently this sanitation company came up with their own idea.
Are those porta potties?
Those are porta potties. Yes.
It's a porta potty choir.
Yes. Pretty much so. Yes. Exactly.
That's brilliant.
Oh
my gosh.
Isn't that brilliant? Is Service Sanitation of Geary, Indiana. They use they use portable toilets for an annual light show to set music with animated faces on the porta potties.
I'm going to have to find this video when we're done. That is amazing.
They did one that calls and they call it the Jingle Johns. Yes, the Dingle Johns all the way. They also have, let me show the other one here. This is more of a motion here. This is they instead of taking all
Portable version.
Now those are those toilets are like 40. They have 40 toilets they take across town, and they do a light show. They did one in Milwaukee that they booked, and what was the other one here? One that I thought was pretty good here. The company said that the latest performance went #1 this week, claiming it set a record for the most animated faces on a single holiday light display for its
Now,
32.
hold on.
Oh,
That was a pun, right? It went #1.
yes, yes.
Okay.
Number
At
2
least
would
it
take
didn't-
longer.
Oh.
No, it's not.
All right. Sorry about that.
The performance is real gas. Thank you, Todd.
Nice,
DC.
Todd.
Oh man. So
Terrence
Yeah,
says
so-
the ones not smiling were pooped in.
that's the truth.
Okay, sorry. I'm sorry to
No,
interrupt
that's okay.
you. But
No, you go ahead. This
I
is
was
what
like,
it's all
did
about.
you do that on purpose?
I wish I could take the credit, but anyway, yeah. So, well, also too, the one they had the #1, not #2, the #1 light show that they had was to synchronize to Hallelujah.
The Hallelujah chorus.
Yes, and they had another one that was a while back. They had one that they did steam high rollers
Mannheim
No.
Steamroller?
Siberian. What's the name of that place?
Trans-Siberian Orchestra?
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
that is right
Okay.
there. So if you
That's
you know
hysterical.
this Christmas season, if you can't find any lights up, I mean after the Christmas seasons, and you still want to see lights, I'm sure there's a lot of construction companies around, and they have these porta potties. And what I like to do, I like to decorate them with lights, especially when there's a guy in there doing the #2. Wrap it around, plug it in. And that's a little something. And you can leave them a scented candle if you want as well. But anyway, I think on that note, I have something a little special on Stupid News that I wanted to do. This is for I would call it just some of the stupid headlines this year. Stupid News Edition, whatever that means. But anyway, we're going to start it off. Each one will have basically a news story with a title on it.
Okay.
And we'll just go.
Are these ones we've done on the show?
No.
Or these are just some of the highlights that you found this year?
This is some of the highlights, not so much what we've done, but the highlights I've seen throughout the years, sifting through this great wide world of the internet. And some of these I thought were pretty interesting. Some of it is obvious, and some of it looks redundant. But let's go ahead and give it a try. Let's go for this.
All right.
Now on Fox 26, fires on the...
Fire on the Sun? It's
Yes.
a headline.
It's a headline. And so,
that's
yeah, I mean, it might be fake news. I don't know.
Seems plausible that
It's
there
pretty
might
spot
be
on,
a fire,
I think this...
a sunspot on.
And the sunspot. Well, this
I'm
next one...
I'm gonna be punny today. Oh my goodness! It's not
Steady.
him, but no. That guy right there, the
Yes.
guy on the screen, he looks so much like one of the reporters I worked with when I was on the news, but that's not him.
Well, apparently, I guess, study. Internet trolls are jerks. Now,
They had to. Somebody paid for that.
somebody had to
I could have told them that for free.
It must be like a slow news day, or all the misfits of all these other affiliate stations, they go, okay, let's all throw them into this whatever Anchorage, Alaska station, and they're all there. All these misfits are there, and I'm maybe this is where all the news is coming from. I don't know.
Oh my goodness!
But the next one is pretty.
Says internet trolls are jerks.
The next one I didn't know about, and anybody out there who wants to confirm this to help me out, please do.
Bugs flying around with wings are flying bugs.
Repeat that again. This is the public announcement. Say this.
The headline says,
yes.
Bugs flying around with wings are flying bugs.
I didn't know that. I am so glad I found that article. I didn't. Yeah.
I, I,
Well, if that one,
let's go to the next
one here.
So this headline says, Chuck Norris facts, are they true? Wait, if they're facts, aren't they true if they're facts?
I just whatever's the news and on print, it has to be for real. So
it has to be accurate, right?
Yes, it does.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, exactly. So
what else we got?
Let's see here. Let's take a look here. This is a fun one right here. Apparently, a health official says pools, diarrhea, not a good mix. Yes, exactly.
Oh, that's disgusting. I think that might also.
That's nasty.
Yeah, that's just not a.
No.
I like the sign that says this is an ool. There is no pee. Let's keep it that way.
That's right.
But
nice
diarrhea is a completely different issue.
No, it is.
That is nasty.
Yeah, you can't hide that. But and on the next one, apparently Tiger Woods, he's good at golf. So that if you haven't ever heard of that before, Tiger Woods,
my gosh,
he is good at golf. Anybody's listening, Tiger Woods, he is good at golf. That's.
Well, I'll just tell you, NBC Channel 24, they definitely know their stuff.
They do.
He is good at golf.
It's hard-hitting reporting. This one too. This next one was interesting. I didn't know.
Study: youngest child considered baby of family.
Well, and if that wasn't interesting enough, this is kind of something. Researchers: overeating can set the stage for obesity.
Oh, imagine that!
Yeah,
I resemble that remark.
No, I just, I don't know how much research they had to, do for that, but that was some easy money. Also, too, hey, a nuclear explosion would be a disaster. And if that wasn't good enough, let's go. Man killed to death.
What? What? Was that Tiffany laughing in the background?
That was the wife, podcast wife.
That one was so funny. It got her. Man killed to death. Yes, that is some hard-hitting news. Channel 3.
That's some facts, buddy.
CBS.
And the other one here is,
gosh.
This is federal agents raid gun shop, finds weapons.
Oh, imagine that a gun shop might have some weapons in it.
And for my final one, this is more for weather and traffic, which I like to know about, is rain creates wet roads.
Oh, my goodness.
And that's for me for stupid news.
Oh, my goodness. This has been the Stupid News with your host, Mr. Mike Schilling.
It's good when you can hear the podcast wife in the background laughing. So that's when
laughing so hard I can hear her on your mic. That's pretty
great.
Good.
That's good stuff. So
that's pretty awesome. I have to say that was a good bit. I liked that.
I like that one. We should do more of those headline bits. I kind of like those.
Yep, that was fun.
Put it in the stupid news. So.
Yep, good new segment. We should work out new segments from time to time and just try them out.
Let's try them out.
If they crash and burn, we never have to do them again or admit they existed.
That's true. Of course,
no, we never did that.
Or we keep doing it like we're doing right now. So, we go against the against the wind.
We just lean into it.
We just lean into it.
It's horrible and it falls flat. We're just going to go with it.
We're just going to do it.
So, do we have anything else before we talk about Wonder Woman?
I don't think so. I mean, I've been seeing a lot of news about coming up with the Justice League. I saw some
information. Talking about the Snyder Cut?
Snyder Cut. Well, actually, kind of some reference to when Josh Whedon was over. Apparently, Gadot finally came up and talked about how he mistreated and how he was made a hostile environment.
Yeah.
And it kind of basically confirms what I can't remember the actor's name who played Cyborg.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name, but he was the first one who talked out about it. And
Yep.
and I guess since Snyder came back and trying to not redo it, but anyway, put it together the way he wanted it to, she felt the freedom to speak up. So I find that interesting to me. But anyway, what was it? This is one with Terrence there, who's there, their editor, Captain
Obvious. Yes.
Yes, I like that one right there.
Thanks. That's brilliant, Terrence. Appreciate it. Oh my goodness. So we are going to talk about Wonder Woman 1984.
Hit the spoiler alert.
Yeah, I was gonna say we're just gonna have to hit the spoiler alert because I don't know if we can separate it. If we can do non-spoiler and spoiler, so we're just gonna do it. Here it is. That is your spoiler alert. If you haven't watched Wonder Woman 1984 yet, and you don't want the movie spoiled, definitely tune out. Come watch this later, but do come back and watch it later. If you don't care or you've already seen it, we'd love to hear your opinion in the comments, and we'll read those. Terrence says he loved it. Now, there was another comment that Terrence had. Terrence thinks Wonder Woman 84 was better than the original.
The podcast wife, I just heard Whiplash going like that. But
so let's talk about it. Okay, so
one thing I'll say, I want to tell Terrence.
Go
I
ahead.
said anybody who loved it, please, don't take anything we say, but. Yeah, I agree with you, Daryl. Daryl McCarty made the comment. It was way too long. Yeah, it was like an hour, almost an hour and a half.
2 hours, 2.5 hours.
Oh, was it? It was a wrong. Yeah, it was 2
2.5 hours. Yeah,
that's right.
It was two. I actually looked it up. I think it was 2:23 with credits.
Yeah,
something like that. Well, probably makes it like 2:10-ish without credits. 2:15 without credits, something like that. Which, for those who aren't in the know, to be a feature-length film, you have to be 80 minutes or more with credits. That's pretty much the de facto definition of a feature film. Yeah. 80 minutes or more with credits. So a lot of movies, especially kid movies, will be around 90 minutes.
Pretty much so, yeah.
And then you see the 2-hour movies, which are kind of the standard.
Yeah.
And then lately we have seen the very extended movies. Long movies, 3-hour Batman movies. And 3-hour Marvel movies, and 3-hour Hobbit movies. That's kind of the new blockbuster standard. If you're not over 2 hours and just under 3 hours, you're not really a blockbuster. So there's your film etiquette for today.
Thank you very much. Yes. Yeah. It's it's interesting. It was 151 minutes. Okay, I see.
151.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I was looking at it, and the deal is.
Oh, so it was 2:30. 2 hours and 31 minutes. Okay.
Yeah.
I had it a little wrong in my head.
No, that's okay.
But yeah, it was a really long movie. Honestly, I actually watched it. My whole family watched it. It didn't feel long to me.
It didn't seem long to
Not
me
as
either,
a whole.
But
Todd Vesey says, I enjoyed watching it, but felt it was the writers took elements from the first movie. Find true love sacrifices self.
Yeah, and I'm going to get into that because there's some of that stuff I'm with you on, Todd. The deal is I'm kind of you're going to find out tonight. It's a mixed bag for me. So
me too.
Don't take offense if I don't see eye to eye on stuff. I love having the comments. Like for instance, Terrence. I'm really fascinated. What made him feel that the 1984 was better
Was
than
better.
the first.
Yeah.
And so that's awesome. I love having those kind of conversations. It's kind of hard to do in the comments, so we'll try to keep up. Me and Ricky, we kind of got
Daryl made a comment about slow motion. I want to get to that later.
Yeah,
but let's just kind of throw out our general overall thoughts.
Okay.
So what is your general overall impression of the film? Nothing specific, just how you felt about it.
I feel like it was canned. I felt like in the beginning, I felt like in the beginning of the journey, I was into it, and then kind of getting close, three quarters into a quarter of the end, it felt like it fell flat to me, and I came away feeling let down. And I don't know and I loved the first one. Me and my wife loved the first Wonder Woman. And so and I don't know whether we hyped the expectation, if we were just really hyping it in ourselves. But I think the actors are great. I think every one of the actors fit the part. Gadot does a good Wonder Woman. I have nothing against any of that. They're really good. Pedro Pascal, awesome. He plays Lord Maxwell awesome. I really think he does a good job. I mean, here's the Mandalorian playing Lord Maxwell, on TV or on the movies. So, the nice thing about it, I watched it on HBO Max. I didn't have to go to the movie theater, so that was nice. I love some of the special effects, some of them.
I'll get to that later.
But there are some more specific things to me,
Yep.
and we're going to just dissect a little bit.
Let me give my overall view, and then we can start dissecting things a little bit. So, my first quick thought was, a lot of people mentioned the length. The length did not bother me at all. I thought I thought there were some segments that went too long, which could have shortened the movie. But overall, I enjoyed the film. I thought it definitely had some issues. I'm with you. The actors were phenomenal. They played their roles very well.
Yes.
Gal Gadot is a great actress. She definitely fits the bill for Wonder Woman. I agree. I don't know if any other person had played Wonder Woman. I don't know if the movies could be as good as they are.
Exactly.
Pascal did amazing. The hair is killing me.
I know.
But man,
it's a very, the deal I read somewhere you have is kind of your Donald Trump, esque type of deal they were doing there. So,
absolutely.
But,
overall, I thought the movie was enjoyable, but I didn't think it was better than the first one. I thought the first one was better.
Yeah.
I thought it actually had some of the same issues that the first movie had.
Todd VC, not VC. he corrected me the last time. No, Todd VC.
Vesey.
No, it's VC. It's VC. It's VC. It's VC. But he made a good comment here. It's under what's here? Yeah, right here. I felt Gadot's acting was better and I agree in Wonder Woman 1984. I think her acting was really good as far as playing the character of Diana.
Yeah, she really has embodied the character better. I think I would agree. What did you? So let's start dissecting it a little bit. Speaking of the characters, what did you think about? What's her name?
Kristen.
Kristen
Wiggs.
What did you think of her as Cheetah?
I think
Barbara.
I think she played a good Barbara. I think she played that very well. I always feel like it's harder to play the actual, like the Bruce Wayne or the Clark Kent and stuff like that. Versus
it's harder to play the character that's not in the outfit.
Exactly. So I think Kristen Wiggs. I wasn't for sure because she was an SNL alumni who did comedy.
Yeah.
But I think she did a really good job. I think she was fine as Cheetah.
She really stood up well against Gal Gadot.
I think so.
Yeah, it was a good matchup, I think.
Yeah, I think a lot of people wasn't for sure, but I think she did a good job on it. Honestly. So, one thing I had, again, you guys are going to realize these are spoilers. So, it's breaking down the movie is basically, we're talking about the 1980s, okay? And was there too much 80s or not enough 80s? Now, I think it was too much 80s.
I'm kind of a little bit of both.
Yeah.
It was like the 80s that were the 80s. It was like, hey, let me shove the 80s in your face.
Exactly.
And then all of a sudden it was like, it could have been any time ever.
Well, the other thing,
didn't matter.
yeah. Well, the thing I was disappointed, if you're going to do the 80s, then do the 80s. But don't show up at the White House where you have a guy who's supposed to look like Ronald Reagan and he looks like Joe Pesci. Okay? Guy looks like Joe Pesci or Mel Brooks, I mean, it was like, that distracted me from the whole scene talking to the president. I couldn't get anything around me. I'm thinking, this guy looks like, Joe Pesci. I agree. Yeah. There was too much cliches in it. I really do.
The 80s cliches. It didn't feel like we tried to create a world of the 80s. It felt like we're going to hand you some Easter eggs of the 80s.
Yes. Let me put it this way.
Go ahead.
Yeah, let me put it this way. Let's just say it reminded me a combination of Stranger Things, The Wedding Singer, and some of Wonder Woman. 80s.
That is brilliant, actually. Okay, so let me tell you one of the reasons that I don't feel like this was a great movie. Okay? I already told you I thought it was okay. I enjoyed watching it.
Yeah.
One of the reasons I don't feel like it was a good movie, you talk about the 80s.
Yeah.
Well, okay, talk about Stranger Things. It's set in the 80s. The backdrop is the 80s. Things look like the 80s, but it's shot like a modern film.
Yeah. Yeah.
You talked about The Wedding Singer. The Wedding Singer is set in the 80s, but it was shot like a film from the 2000s.
Yeah, exactly.
Wonder Woman 1984 feels like it was shot like a movie that was shot in the 80s. And it was uncomfortable feeling. Yeah. It made it feel like the editing wasn't good. Yeah. It made it feel like the direction wasn't good. Yeah. But I think they were going for it. And there was a comment. They did a watch party. Gal Gadot and Patty Jenkins did a tweet party.
Director.
Yeah, the director. And Patty Jenkins basically said this was kind of a love letter to 1978 Superman. The way she shot it, the way she chose the bright colors, the way it's super clear, it's super crisp. There's, the way you framed things. Yeah. It felt like a movie that should have been made in the 80s.
Well, it's
I think that was a fail. Rather than just giving me a world built in the 80s, you gave me a movie from the 80s.
Yeah. Well, I think one thing I want to bring up, you mentioned Stranger Things, and I don't know if it. Oh, don't go to the Manicam. That's not good. Let's not go to the Manicam.
Nope.
Okay. So anyway, we talked about Stranger Things. Okay.
Yeah.
And then let's talk about The Wedding. Wedding Singer was all about cliche 80s. It was a parody of the 80s. That was the deal.
Absolutely.
Stranger Things, it was like the story could stand on its own, and the 80s was a backdrop.
Exactly. And I think that's what they should have done here, but I don't. I think they. Yeah, I think they leaned too much into the way to shooting it like something from the 80s.
Yeah.
And not enough into world building of the 80s.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that,
Yep.
and that's the issue with something. I mean, I like nostalgia period pieces.
Yeah.
I like that. I don't think they're always mesh as well. Like the first Wonder Woman, it was based in World War One, but
Yeah.
it wasn't. It was the period, and it wasn't the story
Yes.
itself. Even
Yes.
though, you know, it's kind of like the Captain America. It was World War II, patriotic, but it was based on a story. Now, like I said, I wanted to love Wonder Woman 1984. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not saying it's not worth watching, but it just I just came away just kind of sunk afterwards. And I think Todd made
Yeah.
a comment about Todd. VC was talking about where it was almost like it was so hyped it couldn't
Yeah.
meet up to it, and I think
Yeah.
that's yeah.
Terrence says, when I watch a superhero movie, I want to feel like I'm reading from a comic book, and this hit that spot for me. I will agree. This
Yeah.
felt very much like a comic book movie. I mean, it was every bit a comic book.
Well, it's kind of like it's kind of like the whole Batman.
Yeah.
You know, the beginning, not the
Yeah.
beginning, but
I missed that gritty look that the first Wonder Woman had.
I do too. I mean, I like that.
Yeah.
Again, nothing wrong with the 1980s. I mean, because I love
Yep.
the 80s, I love the retro stuff. But it was just, man, I don't know what else to say, but it just seems like to me they were trying to do a whole lot in it. It was almost like it had this
Yeah.
slow build up, the slow burn, and then boom, all this stuff.
Yep.
And now I have to. We kid earlier about Freaky Friday, okay?
Yes. Before
And
the show, we
then-
said it's like Freaky Friday all over again.
Yeah, basically, you know, Chris Pine who plays, you know, Trevor. You know, again, it has to do with this wishing stone, and this is what it's all
Yeah.
wrapped around. So,
Oh.
anyway, long story short, she makes the wish, did not really like the stone is there, and it says, she makes a silent wish, and it was for, you know, Steve Trevor to come back.
Yeah.
Was it Steve
Which
Trevor?
doesn't exactly
Steve Trevor.
work. Yeah, Steve
Yeah.
Trevor.
So
it
she ends-
works,
It works.
but you know, weird, convoluted,
It just went all
kind of creepy way. Honestly,
Yeah, I'm glad he didn't show up as a young Tom Hanks as Big, because that would have been really weird. But
yeah.
but you know, my deal is if you're gonna do that, why not just
No.
bring him back full body? I mean, just in his original body. I mean, why the whole thing, the whole mysterious, strange anyhow. I mean, you know, the whole thing about bringing him back. There was something I read.
Well, go ahead.
No, that was just something. It was something that I read, and I put it on my notes because this is how I felt. He said unrealistic, which is okay because comic books are. But point. But
we have to suspend belief when we watch a comic book movie.
Yes.
No doubt about it. I never complain about that kind of stuff.
No, I don't either.
Now,
but
here's one thing I didn't like about this: the wishing stone and Steve Trevor coming back.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so Steve Trevor, you know, about halfway through the movie, he says it's the monkey's paw. Okay, well, in the story, the monkey's paw, one of the things the man wishes for is for his son to come back to life.
Yeah.
Well, you never actually see the son, but it is interpreted that the son just came back to life exactly as he is, meaning he's basically dead and decayed and zombified, walking up to the door.
Yeah.
And then he wishes him away, you know. Yeah. You know, so it's a monkey's paw, but it's not exactly a monkey's paw because, you know, you get a different thing. You do wish something and something else bad's going to happen, but they're not as directly related.
Yeah, and this whole thing.
She wishes for Steve Trevor, and she loses her powers. It's not as connected.
Well, it's like in the first one, Steve Trevor, he sacrifices life for love, and it happens again on this one where, you know, she has to, you know, take back her wish to get her powers back, and you know he tells her you have to do it, and so she painfully does that. And of course, at the end, she does the lasso and trying to convince everybody to do it, and then everything's happy ever after. But the problem is this, and this was something I saw. He said every single person who made a wish is required to revoke it in the order to stop.
Yeah.
He says, well, it ain't gonna happen. I don't care how convincing the lasso of truth is, or how attractive the speaker or the people are not going to revoke their wishes. And some of them likely wouldn't even hear in the beginning. So I thought that was kind of funny. I mean, I saw that comment and I go, yeah. But again, how much of it, let's see here what Todd said. I think the Wishmaster taking on Trevor's persona would have had some interesting possibilities. Yeah, I think that would be.
That would have been an interesting story.
That would have been intriguing.
Now, speaking of villains, since we're talking about the wishing stone and the dream stone, I think is what they call it. If you follow anything in the comic books, DC Comics actually does have a dream stone. It's completely different. Yeah. It actually has to do with dreams and bringing dreams to reality, but not wishes, and it's a whole different process.
Yeah, exactly.
But with this idea, we're talking about the villains. You almost have 3 villains in the movie. The wishing stone is almost the dream stone is almost its own villain.
Yeah, exactly.
Then you've got Maxwell Lord as a villain. Then you've got Barbara Cheetah as a villain.
Exactly.
And I think this was an issue with the first Wonder Woman movie. There's too many bad guys.
Yeah.
In the first one, and I knew as soon as the movie started, I knew this was what was going to happen. I even told before I saw the movie, I told my family, okay, this is what I think is going to happen, because this is exactly what happened in the last Wonder Woman movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Which I think is an issue of, you kind of alluded to this earlier, it's a little too formulaic. Okay? I said, here's what's going to happen. There's going to be a bad guy, and then before halfway through the movie, you're going to realize there's another bad guy. And now, in this movie, they put it out there earlier. In the first movie, you didn't see, most people could see it coming, and most people knew who the bad guy really was going to be.
Yeah, exactly.
But you didn't absolutely know till the very end. In this movie, it was pretty obvious. There were 2 villains. They were, they weren't exactly working together, but they weren't exactly not working together. It was just kind of odd. I told my family, I said, there's going to be a villain, and then all of a sudden we're going to have another villain.
Todd VC.
Is that a trend? 3
Todd
villains
VC
in each
said,
movie?
Todd VC said, isn't that a trend? 3 villains in each movie.
It does kind of
seems that way, Todd. Yeah.
It seems to be a DC trope. We've got you got Batman versus Superman. You've got you kind of have 2. You've got Deathstroke, and you've got crud. You've got Luthor, and then you get Doomsday.
Exactly.
But I don't know. I think there's just too many bad guys to go around. I think it would have been a better movie if they had focused on one big bad and called it good. Honestly, I think if Cheetah had been the bad guy throughout the whole movie, it probably would have been a better movie.
Yeah.
Nothing against Pascal. I think he was great.
I think he did an awesome job. Yeah.
I think it needed to be 2 different movies, 2 different bad guys, 1 bad guy per movie, and I think it would have been better.
I agree with you on that. I do, because you just had too much story to cover. Like I said, I think it was, for me, it was strong in the beginning, and it became lacking getting close to the end for me.
Yeah. They had to wrap things up too fast because of that.
Yeah, because it was almost like the slow, and then all of a sudden, boom, 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 because we got to tie it all together. Yeah. And I think maybe that's what got me. It was like I said, Gadot is a good actor, and she did really well as compared to the first one. So, and like I said, the cast is really good. It was a strong performance. on
Absolutely.
all the cast. So it's
they did fantastic for what they
Yeah.
had to work with.
Exactly.
I think they were given some things to work with that probably shouldn't have been pulled through.
Let me ask you this. This is a question that I'm asking myself. Was there even a reason to bring back Chris Pine or Steve? Let's put it this way, Steve Trevor. Now, I understand why they did it, because the studios probably wanted to bring back a popular actor or character to the sequel.
They wanted to bring back a popular actor.
Yeah.
They needed a love story because every movie has to have a love story.
Yes, just like the show. Anyway, my wife's giving me a look, but it's the same look, so I can't figure out which look what means what. So I just know when I get the look, I just need to continue and do something else.
I am with you. I don't know that they needed to bring Chris Pine back.
Yeah.
However, I will say, I'm just throwing this out there. Wonder Woman 3 has been confirmed. It's got the green light.
I know.
And I wasn't going to bring this up till later, but now it makes sense to mention it right now. Chris Pine signed a multi-film contract
On it.
And I don't trust this. I'm going to say it, and don't you guys believe it till we hear it from somebody else. We got this covered.
Oh, no. Oh, come on now.
We got this covered believes that Chris Pine will show up in Wonder Woman 3. Now, like I said, I don't believe that until I see it from somebody else. However, I do know he signed a multi-film contract. So they need a pilot. Daryl says they need a pilot. I won't be surprised if he comes back. But
I won't be either. But but we got you covered. Anytime I see something from them when I'm going through my feed, I go, no. I mean, even though how great it might sound, no. Unless I hear it from Screen Rant or Cineblend or one of those guys.
And I tried to get some confirmation.
Variety.
I tried to get some confirmation. I could find no confirmation, but in this particular instance, I think they're probably right.
Yeah, Todd was saying, Todd VC was saying, all in all, I enjoyed it, but if I had to pay the theater prices to go see it, I would have really let me down. And I think, and this is a topic that I want to get into, but let's talk about the movie itself, and then I want to talk about the climate around the movie, which is interesting. But let me still.
What else do we want to talk about the movie?
I wanted to show.
I know I wanted to talk about special effects a little.
Yeah, I just wanted to show some of these off, so it took time uploaded. But I just thought to myself, you know what my favorite thing is throughout the whole thing? Okay.
Yeah.
Is I love the scene, and here we go. I love the scene where Steve Trevor is trying to find out what to wear in the 1980s.
It's such an 80s cliche,
but I love
changing clothes bit. But it is hysterical, and it is great. It is a great moment in the movie.
Yeah, I mean, for instance, and like I said,
all the zippers. This one has a lot of zippers.
He comes out and he said, "What do you think this?" And she said, "I think we can do better than that." And after was a couple of them, he was wearing parachute pants. He said, "Does everybody jumps out of a plane?" She says, so he's amazed with all the technology in the 80s. This is my favorite when he comes out. This one right here.
The fanny pack is brilliant.
And even after it was done, after he was done with the clothes and he got clothes, he still stuck with the fanny pack. He loved the fanny pack.
He loved the fanny pack.
I
will say her outfits for the 80s are spot on. Those shoulder pads.
Oh, I know.
Brilliant. If they had no shoulder pads, I'd have been like, yeah, these people don't know what the 80s was about.
No, they don't. I have no problem it being in the 80s. Like I said, I love having something like Stranger Things. I like the idea that it's in the 80s because I pick up on some nostalgic things, but they're not shoving it in my face. And so the story is compelling, and they take some of these tropes from, like the Goonies and Ghostbusters and some of this stuff. But they just mold it very well. Now they did some stuff on, I don't know if it was the second season or third season where it started getting really weird on the end. But anyway, that's for another show. But I just, my whole idea is, story versus time period.
Yeah.
You know, and how to make those work well together without being hung up on one or the other. It's good to have some nostalgia in it. At the same time, though, you don't want that to be the main focus. But
well, speaking of story and speaking of theme, the main focus, we kind of alluded to this earlier. The first movie, the intention was love is the theme.
Yeah.
The second movie, the intention is truth is the theme.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
But I didn't buy it.
I didn't come away feeling that was the theme of it, but
I know it made sense. It sounded good. It sounded really good. But in the end, I don't feel like truth is the reason she won.
it's funny. So I was reading a column where it talked about Pascal's character, Lord Maxwell, and his son, and the whole dynamic there. And he was reading it, reminded me something out of Liar Liar with Jim Carrey. You know, the whole thing where the dad is too successful and busy and all that stuff. Yeah. And so
I will say now the Lord Maxwell character, his resolution was truth. That worked.
Exactly.
But Wonder Woman's resolution didn't feel like truth. Barbara's resolution didn't feel... Actually, I don't feel like Barbara was resolved at all.
I think actually Lord Maxwell's story was stronger than anybody's in there.
Probably.
Because what you think about is, you want to talk about truth. It finally, till the end, he realized the errors of his way, and he realized the truth. And, you know, it was a touching moment between him and his son. And I liked that. And, and that's what it kind of should have been funneled in, that whole truth mantra. Yeah. But I think it went too many directions for me.
I think so. So one other thing, now I read this in an article, and I thought it was an interesting take. I don't want to go too far into this because I think you start reading weird things into things that didn't exist or nobody cared about. But there was this article I read specifically talking about, you know, the Barbara Cheetah character versus Wonder Woman, and that Barbara was kind of forced to have the Pascal character, the man, and Wonder Woman had to have her man, Steve Trevor, and a Wonder Woman movie didn't need to have a man in it.
Yeah. Was
the point of the article. And I absolutely agree with the article that I think you, like you said, Wonder Woman versus the Pascal character would have been great on its own.
On its own.
Wonder Woman versus Cheetah against each other on their own would have been great. I think this should have been two movies.
I think so too. Lord Maxwell is kind of the Lex Luthor of, I feel the same way.
Now,
I wanted to...
Go ahead. I was going to say, this is a side note that I think is hysterical. So this movie is set in 1984, right?
Yeah.
So if you go back and you actually do a little research, Lord Maxwell and the Barbara version of Cheetah both came out in 1987. Why didn't they set the movie in 1987?
I think it has to do with culture. I think they wanted to hit the culture. I think so too.
I think so too.
I think 84 and 85, they can guarantee to have a kind of this almost 70-ish, 80-ish vibe in there.
Yeah.
So,
I just thought that was
I think that's interesting.
It was an odd thing.
You know, it was kind of on a different note here. I thought it was interesting. I was reading in the article where it was talking about out of the pandemic, Wonder Woman did gangbusters out of all the other movies that came out. I
saw that. Yes.
And
they did really well. And we've talked about this on the show. Yeah. Some big movies released an opening weekend would make $1 million, maybe, or not even $1 million.
Well, it's like right here. I dug this up. I did a little chart here, which the budget for 1984 was $200 million.
Yeah, $200 million, which is about right, I think.
And it made a total from weekend opening. Now this opening weekend and the domestic box office about 85 million and about 85.5 million, and of course that
Worldwide.
will be going up. I mean that's not including the subscription. I don't know how they're going to account for that.
I had a little information on that, but not real solid numbers.
Yeah.
But what did I see? I think it said Christmas Day.
Yeah.
The streaming service claimed that 50% of current subscribers watched the movie Christmas Day.
No, I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see that. Let me real quick here, because I find it interesting, because they have a listing of. I went to find the DC movies.
Yeah.
And I wanted to see which one had the highest grossing in it, which was basically Wonder Woman, the first one. Actually, no, I'm sorry.
Aquaman did best. Worldwide total, Aquaman was the best.
Yeah. But then you have to look at how much. But you have to look at the budget, where it's 160, and then and then you have a. So you look at the budget there, and I think the one I tell you the movie. I know this is off topic, but I had a chance to watch Shazam the other day.
Oh yeah,
and I really loved it. It was really good. That's a topic for another time. I really liked it, but and it was kind of something. Somebody could say it was campy, but anyway.
But it wasn't
pretty
campy
good.
Intentionally.
Yes, and that's the key. That's the key.
I don't think we wanted. I didn't want a campy Wonder Woman movie, and I feel like kind of got a little bit. Of camp
I didn't want a Linda Carter.
It wasn't
movie.
funny. It wasn't funny camp, but it was kind of campy.
No, I didn't want a Linda Carter type of movie.
No, I feel like that's what we got.
I think so too. Again, if you enjoyed it and you liked it better than the other one, there's nothing wrong with that. I really wanted to like it because I love the 80s, but I think it was forced. I wanted to see here. I wanted to show something here just for here. Rotten Tomatoes is 62%, and the audience 73,
which isn't horrible.
Which isn't horrible.
It's respectable.
So it's almost like audience score is 73. Of course, and then look at the average here. I mean, there's 1,900 ratings, and critics 339. So that's what you're kind of looking at there. But there's also too, how much does COVID come to play in all of this?
Yes.
And I think that's the biggest thing. And how is this going to set a precedence with other companies?
Is $16 million enough in an opening weekend to keep making $200,000 movies?
Well, and they're already talking about, they already signed up for a third one,
I know.
working. And so, it wasn't even out yet. And they were, right when it came out.
There were rumors, I was going to say.
There were rumors. And now, but now it's
within
confirmed.
a couple of days, it was confirmed.
Yeah.
One thing I wanted to talk about was special effects real quick. Go ahead.
One more thing, and this was with only 35% of all North American theaters that were open. There's only 35% of them. So,
I saw. I think your note said it opened in like 2,100 theaters or something like that.
Yeah, and so
which is pretty low.
And keep that in mind when you're saying box office numbers come in on the theater, because it's very skewed. So yeah.
Yeah, I don't even know what theaters are around here are open to go see it.
Not anymore.
The one closest to me is not.
Yeah.
So I was just going to mention special effects real quick. This has been a major downfall of almost every DCEU movie. It's been special effects. Mm-hmm. And Wonder Woman, the first Wonder Woman movie, was no exception. Yeah. And I was hopeful that this one would be better, and it wasn't. They're hit or miss,
Yeah, exactly.
Sometimes the lasso of truth looked fantastic and amazing, and
Yeah,
other times it looked like a weird yellow blob. And like some shots it looked great, and some shots it looked horrific.
Yeah, I like the White House scene. I thought that was pretty cool.
The action scenes were choreographed very well.
It was very well.
But we look at some of the other special effects things. Where are my special effects notes? Good. I can't pronounce. Okay, back in the day we called it Paradise Island, but it has a name now. Themyscira. I can't. Her island that she came from. I can't pronounce that word.
Yeah.
The CGI was amazing in the opening sequences.
Oh, I thought so too. Yeah,
really great.
Yeah.
Another really great special effect CGI was the wall that grew all of a sudden.
Yeah.
The wall looked it looked great. It looked impressive. It looked like it should be there. But the bad, the scene where she saves the two little kids.
Yeah, that was
the compositing is horrible.
Yeah, I know.
Like I've seen guys in their garages do matched footage better.
Daryl McCarty says we don't need slow motion superhero poses.
Oh my goodness, the amount of slow motion in this movie was killing me.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, it was. If they had shaved, there were a couple of scenes that went way too long.
Yeah, exactly.
And some scenes that had way too much slow motion. They could have trimmed 15 minutes off this movie.
I'd be afraid if they actually have an uncut version of this.
That would be bad.
You know what I'm saying? An uncut version.
Yeah.
Because it seemed like they used everything they had.
Oh, I know. So the other big CGI moment was Cheetah, which I have heard a lot of bad. A lot of people comparing it to the Cats movie. I don't think the design. Yeah, I know.
Cats, yeah.
I don't think the design looks horrible.
No, I don't think so.
But I think some of the action sequence, it was not done quite as well as it could have.
Yeah, exactly.
Like her character itself looked really nice, but sometimes when you do a fully CGI character jumping from one place to the other, sometimes they lose their weight. They start looking like they weigh like nothing. They get this floaty effect. And she started getting kind of that weird floaty thing going on, which is it's just not good animation.
Todd Vesey said that she did well with the transformation, but didn't quite bring the cheetah across the finish line. Yeah.
See, I think I would have liked to have seen more Cheetah.
Yeah, I would too.
I would have liked it because all of a sudden she became Cheetah and then we had one battle. It would have been nice if they'd had two Cheetah battles.
Terrence made a good comment. This is kind of what we were talking about. Terrence Jones says, I think that the biggest letdown for everyone that it wasn't just Wonder Woman versus Cheetah. And
exactly.
That's a good observation there, Terrence.
Yep.
That makes sense.
I wanted this to be a Cheetah versus Wonder Woman movie.
And it's funny, I couldn't figure it out. I even wanted to watch it again today to say, okay, what am I missing something? That's why I wanted to do the show. Okay, we were going to do Mandalorian, but I'm thinking, okay, I want to talk about it now because I just watched it and maybe I have a better understanding. But yeah, I think that's the biggest thing is that, like you said, there were too many antagonists.
Too many bad guys. Yeah,
too many bad guys.
Yeah. Cheetah became a secondary character. She was not. At the beginning of the movie, you felt like Cheetah could be the primary antagonist.
Yes.
But no, she wasn't.
No. Yeah.
Lord Maxwell was the primary antagonist. He was the big bad. Yeah. Cheetah was the sidekick.
I think they could have done two separate movies, and they could have done, if they wanted to do a 1980s version, it probably been better with Lord Maxwell by himself.
Yeah, I think so. I think the Lord Maxwell story fits really well in the 80s.
Yes, I do.
I think the Cheetah movie could have been done anytime.
Yeah.
But I do hear from, now this actually came from Patty Jenkins.
Okay.
Patty Jenkins is saying Wonder Woman 3 will be set in modern times.
Okay.
So I have one last bit I want to throw out there.
Yeah.
DC has to get a Kevin Feige. They don't need Kevin Feige, but they need a Kevin Feige. And here's something, just throw this out there. Continuity issues. Here's a big fat continuity issue. Who in the world doesn't know Wonder Woman exists? Oh, apparently Batman in Batman versus Superman. Wait, Wonder Woman showed up on TV to the entire world in the 80s, and Batman doesn't know she exists.
That makes no sense to me.
I mean, come on, guys. Let's get one guy who goes, okay, no, that we have to. We're doing. We can't know about her. She can't go on live on TV. That doesn't make sense because we haven't because nobody knew who she was.
See, that's well, and that's the other thing. On some of these films, Marvel's not doing it, and I applaud them for them. But DC, I feel like sometimes they're dumbing down for the audience.
Yes,
and they don't need to.
No.
They don't need to. I mean, Marvel
sometimes you just don't have to explain something. Just let it happen.
I mean, I didn't have underoos of Wonder Woman when I was a kid. I mean, and I'll deny that to the very day. Yeah, not to this very day. My mom I guess she got it on half price, and she said, "No, Michael, these are Superman underwears." Okay, Mom. I didn't know I was dragging at that time. So anyhow, on another note, but yeah. So anyhow, I'm kind of with you on that, and I think Terrence made a good observation. I think that's probably the letdown for most folks is that I think they wanted a bigger confrontation. But the confrontation was too small. It was it was not significant.
No,
wasn't significant.
The Barbara character was great.
She did a great job.
She totally could have carried the movie.
She could have.
She didn't need Pascal to be her guy.
Do you think they did Pascal because they wanted to, the whole Mandalorian, hey, he's known kind of deal? Or do you think it's just...
I don't know. Well, I would have to think through shooting schedule to think was Mandalorian huge yet when they were shooting this.
I know he did the Game of Thrones, but he wasn't very well known.
Yeah. I'm sure they picked him because he was getting popular.
Yeah.
But why they decided to have two villains, yeah. I think Patty Jenkins just likes that formula. She used it in the first movie. She's used it in the second movie. I'm just expecting Wonder Woman 3. Expect it. Here's my prediction. There will be two antagonists. There will be one antagonist at the beginning of the movie that you think is going to be a great battle, and then there's going to be the big bad at the end.
So what do you think about the flying Wonder Woman?
I wondered if you were going to ask about that.
Yeah.
So, comic book background. She didn't fly in the 40s. She kind of flew in the 50s. She could ride the winds. Okay.
That's what I do after beans. And
that's a different kind of riding the wind.
Okay, never mind.
So, and then in the post-crisis, she could fly. That was a superhero. That was a ability. So I don't think it's completely out of character to have her fly.
I don't think so either.
I question, does she fly? This is one of those, I get super nerdy about this kind of stuff because I want to know the physics of everything. Does she really fly? Or is she just super strong and can jump really far and catch the wind like they explain in the movies?
With her lasso. Yeah.
And use her lasso to help her propel herself.
Swing.
Is she kind of, is it Hulk doesn't fly. Hulk jumps a long way. Spider-Man doesn't fly. He swings through the city. Yeah. Now, the riding the lightning thing is that's a little bit much, but I'm okay with it. I will suspend belief.
I let it go. I let it go. I go, okay.
Yep. I will say that scene drug on way too long.
Yes, it did.
I get it. It's supposed to be introspective, and she's learning a new power, and she's remembering her love, talking about catching the wind and learning how to control it, and But it just went on and on. I'm like, is this scene not going to end? But I'm totally fine with the flying thing. I'm totally fine with it.
Okay.
How about you?
I'm fine with it. I mean, I think again, it goes back to what Jenkins was talking about. What kind of contribute to Superman? Well, I guess he needs to fly. But I see the same thing too, because I was watching it and I'm thinking, okay, she's really strong. She's jumping really high.
Yeah.
She's
does she
jumping
really
down.
fly, or is she just, or is this a
just-
form of flight? And
Yeah.
and the question of physics is it's, well, how is she doing it? Does it matter how she's doing it? Thank you, actually, for not explaining.
That's true. Well, I mean, with Superman, all the powers has to do from the sun.
Right.
And so, gravity, everything else. Daryl McCarty says so. She can ride lightning, but Wonder Girl gets electrocuted to death in the Titans. Let me read that again. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she wasn't touching the lightning. It was the lasso of truth that was touching the lightning, so she was insulated.
Was that? Are you
I
going to
don't
be in
know.
the? You're going to be on. You're going to be
I'm
on the
just
drip.
making up.
You're going to do your own
I'm just
commentary.
making crap up. I'm just making
Commentary
crap
edition.
up now.
Yeah, well, I know that. That's what we do on the show. We got you covered here.
Exactly.
Yeah,
No, but I don't have any problem with her flying. I thought it was interesting. I thought it was a lovely moment because of the Steve Trevor comments earlier.
Okay, I had to. Okay, now Steve Trevor.
Yeah.
Steve Trevor was a World War I spy.
Yep.
He was a pilot.
Yes. Of World War I aircraft.
Yes, it was basically a bifold aircraft, and he was able to jump into a modern jet and fly it.
Well, a 1980s jet and fly it.
Well,
at
I
least.
mean,
Yeah.
we're talking about jet. I mean,
Yeah, I know. I was the same way. I was like, all right, I'll leave that one alone.
I'll leave it alone. What do you feel about the invisible part? I know that Wonder Woman has, at least from
jet.
and that goes back to.
Yeah, that's back to the 40s. In the
Yeah.
40s, when she was invented, she had an invisible jet.
Yes. Did she really
I thought
need
it was
an?
lame.
Yeah.
I thought it was lame.
Yeah.
And number two is, okay, the joke about I made a coffee cup invisible and I lost it. I never found it. That's kind of funny.
Yeah.
Making the jet invisible is kind of interesting. She just referred to radar. So making the jet invisible, does it make it not, do you not see it on radar either? I'm confused. Is it invisible, or is it invisible to the eye, or is it invisible to everything?
Well, she makes a comment when they get in the plane about radar, and so it made me feel
They'll
like
be
okay,
able to track us.
yeah, So they
And he
go
doesn't know
invisible.
what radar is.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah. So yeah,
'Cause he
I thought
yeah,
I thought it was. I could have done without that bit.
yeah.
You could have just let him get away and, fly below the radar or something, because he doesn't know how to fly super high. Did you have enough technology to fly without landmarks in World War I? Super high?
No, I mean you basically have a compass and you have landmarks down there. That was basically it. You had a map.
So he wouldn't have been able to fly
Yeah.
super high anyway.
No.
He would not have been able to read the gauges to know where they were going.
Yeah, they maybe had a few gauges, but there's so many buttons on that thing, and he happened
Along with that, my daughter goes, would that jet really have enough fuel in it to get them all the way there?
Well, again, I mean, you can nitpick it all day,
Yeah.
but there are some things
the
that stood out.
Smithsonian, the Smithsonian just happens to have a jet that's fueled and ready to go. That she could just use her pass card to get into.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, that's one of those suspend belief and just move on. I'm not going to complain. See, those are the things I'm not going to complain about. I'm going to complain about, there's story bits. Like, I didn't care for the wishing stone thing. It got to be, it was kind of an interesting idea, but then it got super subjective. Like people couldn't make a second wish, but Barbara made a wish on the stone, and then she kind of had a second wish from Lord Maxwell, or Lord Maxwell just gave her something without a wish. It's a little weird. I'm not quite sure.
Well, I know she actually
that.
she had the stone, which Christine Wiggins was.
She made the wish to be like Diana, and
Yes,
she
that's what she
basically
did.
became Wonder Woman.
Exactly.
But then later, she wishes to be an apex predator and becomes Cheetah. So she got 2 wishes. But the guy with the Porsche couldn't get a second wish.
Well, that's true. That's true.
That was so. It's like, wait, are you breaking your premise? I'm confused. Do you not get more than 1 wish, or do you only get more than 1 wish because you're you're wishing on Lord Maxwell now? Or, and it seemed pretty arbitrary as to, we talk about the monkey's paw thing. So
Yeah.
you get what you want, but then you get something bad in return. And
Yeah, exactly.
But once he was the wishing stone, you didn't necessarily get something bad in return. He just got what he wanted. Lord Maxwell
Yeah.
got what he wanted, whether or not that was bad for you. Early on, it was always bad for you. But it wasn't necessarily bad for you. Maybe. The guy with the Porsche, what happened to him? Did he have something bad happen to him? Or did Lord Maxwell just get something good?
Interesting. I have a headache now thinking about that, but
I know. See, this is the kind of thing that bothers me. I can suspend belief that there is a wishing stone and that it has rules. But then when you don't follow the rules that you've already set up, I have a problem with your storyline.
well,
Then I have a problem.
Well, yeah, you brought that up, and I was thinking the same thing. How, I know you have to refuse the wish, renounce the wish for it to go back. Oh, Todd, go ahead.
Todd says the plot on the wishing stone was a little wishy-washy to me. Exactly. Good one.
Shh.
We're being punny today.
That's true. Yeah. But yeah. So anyway, it was strong in the beginning for me. It kind of fell flat on the end.
Yeah, I agree.
I think I'm glad I watched. Kind of like what Todd said earlier about watching it at home instead of going to the movie theaters and spending a ton of money. I would be upset too.
Yep.
Me, I got an opportunity to sit it, didn't have to pay, and I watched it. So,
yeah. One other thing that kind of bothered me about the movie, was I don't feel like Wonder Woman won the day.
No, I don't. I didn't feel any victory. I didn't feel any victory at the end.
Yeah.
I think that maybe that's part of it. There wasn't.
She definitely defeated the guy in the first movie.
Yeah.
She fought and she beat him. In the second movie, it was kind of like, hey, everybody, you're making this guy really bad. Let's stop doing that.
Let's give peace a chance.
And then, hey, dude, exactly.
Yeah.
And then, hey, dude, you're crazy. You shouldn't be that way. And he goes, and he releases his wish, whatever. And then it's just like, you didn't really beat him. He kind of gave up.
I had somebody who made a comment saying he would have preferred that when people, kind of give up their wish, that things would go back to normal. Like, all the chaos. Yeah. I mean, there was a ton of chaos within the city, and it's
like the guy who says, I wish you would drop dead. And the lady turns around and has a heart attack.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so, but there was like accidents all over the place. There was all kinds of stuff happening and chaos. And it was one of those things. Okay. So everyone gives up their wish. And so everything just kind of I'm thinking more of a parallel universe where everything falls back together the way it was beforehand. But, cause
I don't know. I'm willing to suspend belief on that one, but I think it's a little bit of a stretch. I think it would have been better if Lord Maxwell had been destroyed and all the wishes had gone away as the solution.
Yeah.
The wishes stop and everything reverts back if you destroy the stone.
Well,
and you
they
destroy Lord Maxwell.
they
That could have been good.
well, they made Lord Maxwell kind of like with Thanos. Not much like Thanos, but Lord Maxwell thought he was doing what he needed to do, and there was a part of humanity there, and he didn't.
They gave him a nice redemption arc.
Yeah.
It was a little too fast.
I think so too.
For my taste, it was like, I think it could have been better if she had been pleading with him all along to give it up. You know,
but it's wrapped it up too quick. Let's go. Let's put speakers on the lasso of truth, and everybody is okay. And it's like I don't think so. That's where it goes back to. It goes back to what we talked about, where if we just had one villain, and then and then Wonder Woman or Diana would have plenty of time to try to plea with Lord Maxwell, and maybe eventually he'll see the light. After seeing his son. That would make sense to me, but there would be a build up to that where I felt like, again, the beginning was strong, getting close to the end. I felt like they were just trying to tie it up all together however they could and say the end. And I think that's why I came away disappointed.
Yep. I agree with you.
Yeah. Again,
any last words?
Well, one thing, we are going to do our Mandalorian season 2 next week.
Yep.
And so, as far as what we're talking about now, I can't really think of anything else. I think it's...
will you watch it again?
No.
I think I will. I think I'll watch it again. Not immediately, but at some point I will watch this. I would watch it again. If it came on TV, I'd probably sit and watch it.
I would probably watch it one more time just to see if there was anything I didn't catch before. It'd be totally from that perspective. Yeah. And it wouldn't be, for a while, Like I said, I didn't hate the movie. It just, I didn't come away feeling like I went to a superhero movie. I didn't have that. I didn't feel jazzed or juiced. I didn't feel like, man, it was awesome. It was just a mixed bag for me. But
I think for me, I enjoyed the movie overall. It definitely felt like a comic book. I don't feel like I like my movies slightly more grounded, and I don't feel like this one was grounded enough.
Todd is asking, did you like the costume change?
The costume change. Oh, the gold. It's talking about the gold armor thing. I thought that was kind of cool. I mean, it was a change. It was different.
I didn't have a problem with that.
No, I thought it looked really cool.
Yeah.
My only real flaw with it was, Astra, is that her name?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. She held off the entire world of men in that, and Wonder Woman couldn't hold Cheetah back.
Yes, I know. I thought that was...
So I don't know if that's a strength thing or if that's a man versus this is a woman thing.
I have no idea, but
I don't know.
But that caught my attention too when I saw that scene. I'm thinking, man, this thing is really fragile. I know. Man, I didn't last too long.
That's pretty wimpy there.
Wow, man. Just get some sheet metal next time.
Oh, he needs just the update to her regular costume. But I thought it looked fine. I did not notice how much difference there really was. I didn't compare the two.
Yeah.
I think it was definitely brighter colors probably this time.
I liked
I liked the muted colors the last time.
Yeah, see, I do too. I like the muted colors too. I like the style of the older one, even the one she had before she, the brown drab one, and then later on when she changed into.
I'm sure this one is much more vibrant because they were going for that 80s vibe.
Yeah, I'm sure. Well, I mean, at the very end, who shows up? Linda.
Yeah, that was great, and that was a great choice to make her the person that Diana has been looking for this whole time.
Exactly.
Yeah, I thought that was a nice choice. It was a good way to end it.
It
was a nice nod.
Yeah.
I'm a Marvel fan. It would have been nice to have a hint for the next movie there instead of just her. But because I don't feel like that was a hint for the next movie at all.
I don't think so. I think it was just a nod. basically. Yeah.
Hey, Linda, we want you in the movie. We've got this bit.
Daryl McCarty says that was the best part of the movie. Yeah, well, it's funny. I said the same thing to my wife when it was done.
Yep. Mike texted me. He said the same thing.
Oh, yeah, that's right. So I said the exact same thing to Ricky in a text. But before we wrap it up, I want to mention next Wednesday we're going to finally dig in to The Mandalorian Season 2. I've been wanting to do this for a long time. So if you haven't watched it by now, you need to, because we're going to talk about everyththing.
Because we're going to spoil the crap out of it.
Yeah, and we waited long enough. We've been wanting to for quite some time. Wonder Woman, why? I have no idea why we ended up doing it 2 days after, but Mandalorian.
It's almost a week.
True.
It came out last Friday.
But there's so much to talk about Mandalorian. There's so many great stuff. I mean, it's gonna be a full night.
Yeah.
And a lot of it, what's going to lead for season 3? Who's going to show up with season 3?
Yes.
What's going to happen to, Baby Yoda? What's going to happen with the continuation? I mean, there's so much.
Yes. I have thoughts.
I do too.
I don't know if they're right or not.
So that's going to be
They're
great.
probably wrong.
and I'm going to look forward to the show because that is going to be up my alley right there.
Yep.
So it's going to be really good. Be a fun show. So I think we're hitting the closing time here. What do you think?
We probably need to wrap it up.
Yeah.
This is probably the longest show we've ever done.
Yeah, it didn't feel like it was, but yeah.
No, it flew
just
by.
flew by. Yeah, usually by this time we're just going but no, it was really good. I appreciate everybody for showing up, and you didn't catch our last week encore. You didn't miss anything. And no, it was
super funny. My favorite part of listening to our first ever episode again was to find out that the Star Trek whales joke goes back to our very first episode, and I had not remembered that.
Honestly, I kid. You get a chance to watch the encore that we did in the Christmas special, Stupid News. I think you'll enjoy it. There was some good stuff. The
Christmas
there.
Stupid News was brilliant.
I love the what you did with the animation and the talking and stuff. Even the whole.
I wish it had. Yeah, I wish After Effects had held strong, but the export kind of fouled up. But it's fun to listen to.
Yeah.
All right, man. We probably need to wrap it up.
Do. Yes, we do.
Hey, if you're not already, join us on Facebook. Join us on YouTube. We're out there. We'd love to have you as part of our page or part of our Facebook group. Anything else?
Yes, if you're going to invite people to the Facebook group, emphasize to them that they have to answer all the questions.
Yes.
And that they need to look at the rules. We
won't let you in if you don't fill out the questions, and if you don't follow the rules, we may kick you out.
Well, that was kind of not very Christmas-like. I was trying to say, we give you a little nudge saying, hey, anyway.
See, Mike's the nice one. I just nope, you're gone.
We're a community. We get along. We're a community.
Todd says, great show. Appreciate it, Todd.
Thank you, Todd. And thank you, Terrence and Daryl. You guys added a lot to the show. Actually, all you guys.
Absolutely.
That's what I love about the audience. You add to the show. You help us think. You help us, you'll bring up some stuff and we'll go back to it because you make some really great points. And so you guys make the show. And
they help us with the transitions.
Yes, they do. They do. So,
and Happy New Year to everyone.
Happy New Year to you. Yes, everybody out there, I hope you have a safe New Year. We will be back next Wednesday at 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern. We're going to do our Mandalorian Season 2, so be prepared for that. And, hey, if you're on the SAS Nerds group, hey, post what you got for Christmas, your nerdy gifts, the things that you got.
Absolutely.
We'll love to see that. So anyway, Ricky, that's all I have to say.
All right. See you next year.
Bye-bye.
This has been the Something About Something podcast with your host, Mr. Mike Schilling.
And my very good friend and very good friend, compadre, Mr. Ricky Pope. friend, Ricky
What was
Pope.
that?
I don't know. I used to come up with these little clever, little names for you, and then we went video, and I just lost that. Oh no.
It's all right.
It's okay.
It got kind of long.
Yeah, it did. Sorry about that.
That's all right.
Like Wonder Woman?
All right.
Oh, sorry.
That was definitely too long.